Were you dreaming of a wet Christmas? Well, that's what we've got today. It's a rainy one down in Nashville, Tennessee, as we've got an AFC South clash between the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are going to be rocking their Houston Oilers throwback jerseys today. Ironic that it's coming against the Texans. The Titans currently sit at a record of 8-6, and with 3 weeks left of a regular season, Tennessee knows they need all hands on deck as they try to grab one of those playoff spots in the AFC. Last week, we had a big win on the road in LA against the Chargers, 31-17. I don't think the scoreboard shows how much we really dominated that entire game, but it was never really close or competitive. We took a 28-3 lead in the third quarter, and unlike the Atlanta Falcons, we did not blow it, although Madden tried their hardest to make us lose it in the fourth quarter. But luckily, we had such a sustainable lead that it was fine. The team ran the ball really well. Malik Willis had another pretty solid day, and he's continuing to gain chemistry with Robert Woods and Odell Beckham, which is going to be important with Treylon Burks currently sidelined for the remainder of the regular season. With 3 weeks to go, we had the Texans, Cowboys, and Jaguars on the schedule. That Week 18 game in Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida, very well could decide a playoff spot for one or both of those teams. So we know we got to play well here against the Texans, and then on Thursday night against the Cowboys. We have a prospect profile today. We'll be going over the linebackers in this year's class. We have a talented group at linebacker. We run a 3-4 scheme, meaning we have two guys in the middle, David Long and Zach Cunningham, both of whom have been really good this year when healthy, and then Harold Landry and Bud Dupree on the edges. Dupree started the year off hot, but he's quieted down. Landry's been the opposite. He started the year slow, but has been really good. I think our linebacking core has been a strength this year, but other than Landry, I'm not convinced any one of those guys are going to be long-term pieces, so we very well could draft a linebacker in this year's draft. Lucky for us, this is a really talented linebacker class across the board. Let's start at left outside linebacker as we look at Neville Franklin out of the University of Florida. Florida's linebacking core is loaded. They have multiple guys, including Franklin, who are going to go in the first round. I think Neville Franklin is one of the more purely talented players in the class, and he's a little bit undersized, 6 foot, around 216 pounds. He's built more like a safety. However, he has the ability of a linebacker. He's quite athletic, he's a smart player, and he's versatile. You can use him as a pass rusher. I think he's got a good toolbox of pass rush moves, but he's also really solid in coverage this year. He's had a slightly down season after an amazing junior year, but that has not stopped him from being a projected top 20 pick in this year's draft, and I think his versatility is really going to intrigue teams towards the middle of the first round. If you are wanting someone a little bit bigger, Hamilton Paxton out of Penn State could be your guy. And again, he doesn't have the height. He's around 6'1", but he's 240 pounds. This guy is big, he's strong, he's buff, he's got super long arms, he's rangy. And again, this is another guy who has a lot of versatility. You look at a player who can cover, who can go after the quarterback, who can stop the run. He's a very non-scheme dependent player. I think he'll succeed in a 3-4 or a 4-3 because he does everything well. He doesn't specialize in one area, nor does he have freakish athleticism, so I think his ceiling is a little bit limited, but I'm confident he'll be a good player. There are some solid depth linebackers throughout the board. Forrest Roach, Daniel Truchon, Bernardino Balboa. Of those guys, I think Truchon out of Georgia might be the most interesting. Another guy who's kind of short. It's a common theme with this class. A lot of short linebackers. He's only 5'11", 220, but he plays far bigger than his size suggests. And if you watch him, you'd think he's a 6'4", 250-pound defensive lineman, the way he can make plays. Good against the run, good against the pass as well. Pretty athletic too. Obviously, the size is a question mark. Will he be able to hold up as a 3-4 outside linebacker against NFL offensive tackles? I don't know. That's to be seen. And then going down the board even further, some possible day 3 guys like Antonio Marlander, Colin Keepers out of Nebraska. Keepers is especially interesting because he was recruited to Nebraska to play defensive end. However, his instincts in coverage are so impressive, and Nebraska's decided to use him more as a linebacker this year, specifically an off-ball linebacker, and he's done an unbelievable job at that with 5 interceptions this season, and he has still produced as a pass rusher with 4.5 sacks in each of the past 2 seasons. And then looking down the board even further, I think Sidney Algernon out of Army could be an interesting gem in the 6th or 7th round. Moving on to inside linebacker, you don't normally find many projected to go in the top 5, but Oklahoma's Octavius Thatcher is a little bit different. He's a big guy, 6'3", 230 pounds. He's a hard-nosed, old-school, tough linebacker, gives you that Dick Butkus type of vibe. But he's also super quick and rangy with great sideline-to-sideline coverage ability in the more modern, new-school type of linebacker, such as a guy like Devin White. He's been banged up this year, hasn't been as good as he was as a junior, and has missed some games this season. I don't think he's going to be a top 5 pick just because he's an inside linebacker and positional value and whatnot, but I think he's probably a top 5 pure talent in this class. There are a couple other middle linebackers who I think could be first-rounders, including Nick Brown out of Vanderbilt. He wasn't really on anybody's draft radar going into the season, but he has been a major breakout candidate for the Commodore defense. The big stat with him is he has 8.5 sacks this season, and his pass rush ability has kind of come out of nowhere. I think that number is a little bit misleading because Vanderbilt has a lot of design blitzes for their linebackers, but he has shown an array of pass rush moves at times. He's a really smart and instinctive player as well. So again, I think the sack numbers are inflated, but I think teams are going to be interested by his positional versatility and his size. Maybe he transitioned to more of an edge rusher role rather than as an inside linebacker. Back to the theme of short linebackers, we come across LSU's Jeremy Fenelon. He's a little bit under 6 foot, but he's built like an ox, around 240 pounds. He's big, he's fast, he's strong, and he's another guy who can do a little bit of everything. I trust him in coverage more than a guy like Nick Brown or maybe even Octavius Thatcher. Along with that, he's great in run support as well. Very high character guy. It's been a down season for LSU, but certainly not at the fault of Fenelon, who has had a great season this year for the Tigers. He was great last year as well and could be a late first, early second round pick. Chris Gentry out of Tennessee's stock has gone up this season despite missing most of the year with an injury. When he was healthy towards the start of the season, he was great. But once he got hurt, along with Tennessee's starting quarterback Benjamin McKenzie, everything kind of fell apart for the Vols. He's big, 6'1", 242, but he's got that quickness. He's got that sideline-to-sideline speed. He's an explosive linebacker who quickly can come into the backfield. This is somebody who can stop the run. He can get after the quarterback. And again, he's sort of the backbone of that Tennessee team. Once he got hurt, the defense just was not the same. I think Jack Ace could be an interesting guy in the third round, 6'3", 250. He profiles as more of an edge rusher, and I think he very well could be more of a 3-4 outside linebacker. I don't know if he's got the pass rush ability to do so, but he does have really good instincts in the run game and instincts in coverage, which is why he's lined up as a middle linebacker. I'm not entirely sure where he's going to line up in the NFL, but what I can tell you is he's going to be a damn good player. This is a guy who has really good athleticism for his size, and I have a hard time thinking he won't succeed. Roman Benson, Duck Chambers, Cedric Sowell are among the guys towards day 3 who I like, particularly Duck Chambers out of Florida State. The Seminoles are the number 1 ranked team in college football right now. They have probably the best defense in the country, led by Duck Chambers, the man in the middle. He's an unbelievable run stopper. I think that's his best attribute. A little bit inconsistent in coverage, but he has shown good ability there. He's really improved this year as a pass rusher. Not only are his sack numbers up, but his pressure and QB hit numbers are up as well. And he's a guy whose stock is certainly on the rise. As we go to right outside linebacker, this is Cyrus Okpoko Jr. He is not just the top right outside linebacker, but the top projected overall player in the entire draft class. He's pretty much Micah Parsons and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's skill sets combined into one, but inside the body of Zion Williamson. He's 6'7", 270, yet he is an unbelievable freak of nature. Florida mainly used him as a pass rusher his freshman season, in which he was damn good at that. Then they've sort of used him more as a traditional off-ball linebacker, and he's been damn good at that, whether it's been in coverage or in the run game. He does it all. He has 93 speed, 95 acceleration, and again, he's 6'7", 270 pounds with a 40-inch vertical and a near 7-foot wingspan. He is going to be the top non-QB off the board, maybe the first player overall off the board if the team picking number 1 doesn't need a QB. He is so good. And it's unfortunate for a guy like Jermaine Hicks, who's been unbelievable this year at Indiana. He'd be a top 10 pick, I think, most years, but he has got completely overshadowed by Cyrus Okpoko. Personally, I think Hicks is the third best linebacking prospect in this draft class, only behind Okpoko and Octavius Thatcher. 6'1", 226, really quick, really athletic. He's a guy who's really broken out this season. However, I trust his ability more than a guy like Nick Brown out of Vanderbilt. I don't think Hicks is as likely to be a one-year wonder. Great in the run game, really solid in coverage. He's continuing to display more of an array of pass rush moves, and I think he's going to be a really good pick, probably towards the middle of the first round. Montague Coriolanus out of Missouri is another possible late first-round selection here at the linebacker position. He specializes as a pass rusher, but is another guy who can make plays in the run. Not quite as consistent as a cover linebacker as some of these other possible late first rounders. However, I do think his ability as a pass rusher will get him picked in the top 32 selections. And if the Titans are picking in the first round, want a guy to eventually replace Bud Dupree, I think that could be Coriolanus, who's been a really solid pass rusher in the SEC. 6 sacks last year, on pace to finish with around the same amount this year, although his pressure numbers have been a lot higher. Isaiah Ramirez out of Cal is another possible late first rounder, but I'm a little bit more interested by some of these guys behind him, including Guido Lecovici out of Arkansas. He's really improved this season as a pass rusher. Arkansas has a great secondary, 3 guys who are probably going to get drafted. They needed somebody else in the front lines to step up on the defense, and that's been Lecovici, who's definitely going to break his personal mark for tackles for loss. He has 6 sacks this year, could finish at around double digits, and has played his way into being a late day 2, early day 3 pick. Casavan Kachachorian out of Clemson, I think could be a hidden gem in the 5th or 6th round. He's a guy who's been mainly a special teamer through his collegiate career. Wasn't a highly ranked recruit, earned the starting job this year at linebacker, and he's been great. He's built like a safety, 5'11", 208. I don't think he's got the range or quickness to play safety, so because of that, he's a little bit of a tweener, and that's why teams are a little bit concerned about him, because he doesn't seem to have a clear position that he's going to play. However, he has had a knack for the football this year. I think he could be really good in sub-packages as a linebacker, so I'm curious to see whoever gets him, how they're going to use him. That's going to wrap up the prospect profile. Let me know which players you liked down below in the comments as we now focus here on Week 16 of the NFL season and the Tennessee Titans playoff chase. The Titans are currently not projected to make the playoffs, but we're not too far off. We need to play really well down the stretch. We need some things to go our way, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. We're only 2 games behind the red-hot Colts in the division. We're 1 game behind Jacksonville. And we are a game behind the current 7th seed, which is the Cleveland Browns. So obviously we've got some work to do, and we're going to need some other things to go well. We don't really control our own fate, which is unfortunate, but hopefully we can do what we need to do these last 3 weeks of the year and get some luck with some of those other teams in the wild card race or division race on a little losing streak. Today is a game we should absolutely win against the Houston Texans. The Texans won their first game of the season since week 1 last week, beating the Chiefs 13-9. So the Texans are coming off a little bit of a high, and I think we could catch them flat. They have 1 more win than the Detroit Lions, who are currently projected to have the number 1 pick. I imagine Houston will want to select number 1, get an opportunity to get one of those quarterbacks like Clyde Williamson or Masaru Lee, or maybe they prefer a guy like Cyrus Okpoko out of Florida, who we just talked about. This is obviously not a good football team. Davis Mills isn't horrible, but I don't think he's the long-term guy here. They only have 3 players in the 80s in terms of ratings, them being Brennan Cooks, Kareem Hunt, and Larry Tunsil. This is a young football team. I think their future is better than people realize, but in 2022, they are not good. So let's hop into this game here. It's Christmas weekend. Since Christmas falls on a Sunday this year, most of the NFL games, including this one, are being played on Christmas Eve, Saturday the 24th. So the Titans are on a little bit of a short week, as is almost everybody else in the league. But let's get this started. Titans and Texans. Tennessee knows they need to win this game as they start with the football. 3rd and 4. Handoff up the middle for Derrick Henry, who makes a nice cut to the left side. Henry still on his feet. Oh my Lord, what a run by King Henry, who gets to the 32. Most running backs would have gotten about 8 or 9 there. Derrick Henry got over 30 because, well, he's Derrick Henry, breaking a number of tackles there on that play. I just want to look at this run again. He does a great job of finding the hole. He has like 4 guys on top of him, and he will still not be brought down. Derrick Henry looks good in these Houston Oilers colors, not going to lie, although, again, with the rain, you can only look so good. The Titans know they're going to need to run the ball well today with the weather conditions, especially if Malik Willis is going to throw like that. misfiring for O.J. Howard. That'll bring out the field goal team. 49-yard attempt for Fat Randy Bullock. The former Texan, who has not missed a kick all year, remains perfect, and the Titans start with a field goal. This is going to be a sloppy football game, which I think really neutralizes things, which could benefit the Texans. So Tennessee cannot waver. They can't let this turn into a trap game. Short throw up the middle by Mills. That'll go for a gain of 15 to the tight end for a first down. Houston is moving slowly but surely down the field. They now have it at the opposing 30-yard line as it's a handoff for Marlon Mack, and he is smothered in the backfield by Elijah Molden, the nickel corner, for a loss of 3. Molden has really had an impressive season in the nickel. He hasn't been the most consistent on a play-to-play basis, but he's been making plays. 3rd and 13, Mills way off. Again, with the weather, it's going to be a hard time for these QBs to grip the football, so the product, particularly the passing, is going to be a lot worse across the board. Eddie Piñeiro's 50-yard field goal attempt is no good. Along with the passing, I think the kicking is also going to be a little bit worse today. So the Texans remain off the board as it's still 3-0. Titans start off with pretty good field position after the missed kick. 3rd and 5. Willis has room up the middle. If Malik Willis is going to have a hard time throwing the football today, then the Titans are going to need him to really run it well. And we know he does have great ability as a runner as he connects with Odell Beckham Jr. His first pass completion of the game only took about 8 minutes, as the Titans now have it at the 11 in the red zone, looking to extend this lead. 1st and 10. Willis again looking to run with it, and this ball is out, and it's picked up by the Texans. It's Jonathan Grenard who hops on it. Again, it's going to be a hard time for these players to grip the football. We're going to see more fumbles today, and unfortunately the rookie QB gets a little bit careless as the ball pops out. As we look at the replay, that looks like a clear fumble. I don't think there's going to be any need to review that. And so that'll wrap up the first quarter. The Titans lead 3-0. They did just turn the ball over. Hopefully the defense can give a nice response as the Texans are starting with not the best field position inside the 20-yard line. 2nd and 10, first play of the quarter. Here is Mills, sacked, loses the ball, and it's picked up by Bud Dupree. Dupree and Landry were both in the backfield with the strip sack. I think Dupree is going to be credited with the fumble force, and he gets the recovery. The Titans fumble it inside the 5-yard line, and within the matter of a few plays, they're going to get it back inside the 5. However, this time the fumble is going to be reviewed by the booth, and I think Mills's right knee hits the ground while he has possession of the football. So unfortunately, this fumble is going to be reversed. A massive break there for Houston. Still a nice sack by Bud Dupree, but the Titans don't get the ball in the red zone now. 3rd and 19, Mills on the run, incomplete. The Titans defense continuing to look quite good as they get it back with very good field position inside the 50. Handoff to the left side here for King Henry. Breaks a tackle. Henry looks to get by the safety and is eventually wrapped up at the 29 by the rookie out of Baylor, Jalen Petrie. Following play is a play-action fake. Willis can't find anybody open, so he's going to do what he does best, and that's get in space and move. As he gains 24, sliding at the 5. Got to do a good job of avoiding hits like he did on that play to avoid fumbles. 1st and goal from the 5. Willis is a wide open man. It's Howard who drops the ball. Not only is it going to be a harder time to throw the ball, but as we saw on that play, it's going to be a harder time for these receivers to catch it. 2nd and goal. Willis rolls out to the left with space. He is untouched into the end zone for a rushing touchdown, and the Titans will extend the lead. Great play there by Malik Willis, and again, maybe he doesn't have the experience or consistency that Ryan Tannehill does, but Tannehill's not making that play, and he's not going to be able to make some of these runs that Willis has been able to throughout this ball game as the Titans now lead 10-0. Houston has the ball back pretty close to midfield at the 41. 2nd and 10. Mills under pressure. He is going to be sacked. Elijah Molden brings down the QB. Bud Dupree was there as well. If this Titans pass rush can get going, then I have a hard time thinking Houston's going to be able to get on the board. 3rd down and long. Mills goes short, and it is caught, but not for a first down as Brandon Cooks is wrapped up at the 40 by Caleb Fairley. So that's going to force a punt. The Titans have it back, already leading 10-0. We'll see if Tennessee can look to extend the lead. From the 33, Willis looks to throw it. Can't find anybody open, so what is he going to do? He's going to run, and he's going to run loose as he scrambles and slides just shy of the 50 Willis with nearly 70 rushing yards here in the first half to go with his touchdown. Got to give Malik a lot of credit. He knows it's not a great day to throw it, so he's going to run a lot. Although he does complete a short pass here to Nick Westbrook-Akine, who gets around 15 yards. Good read, good play after the catch, good blocking there towards the left side of the field, and the Titans now have it close to the red zone. 3rd and 5. Willis with a strike, his best throw of the day, into the hands of Odell Beckham, who is just shy of the end zone at the 2. Now at the 2-minute warning, Titans lead 10-0, looking to extend the lead as Willis floats it up in the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown by the rookie tight end, Chig Okonkwo, and this game is now a 3-score lead. I was worried about this being a trap game here for the Tennessee Titans, but they have clearly come to play, and they now lead at 17-zip. The Texans have it back, looking to get on the board at least here before halftime. They don't want this getting out of hand, turning into a blowout. 1st and 10. Here's Mills with a strike downfield. What a nice catch to the 49 by the rookie John Mechie III. Following play, 2nd and 10, minute and a half to go. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Mills under a ton of pressure. He goes short for Hunt on the screen, who breaks a tackle and is hit hard by Kevin Byard, but not before getting the first. Now at the 37, Mills surveys the field. He's going to look short for the tight end Brevin Jordan, who gets 12 more as the Texans call their first timeout of the half. Under a minute to go now from the 25-yard line. Houston looking to get some points on the board. Not going to help on that play. Byard flies into the backfield for a sack. The Texans did not see him coming on the safety blitz as they call timeout number 2 and are only down to 1, along with 50 seconds from the 31-yard line. 3rd and long. Mills floats it up. It's caught inside the 5. Nice grab there by Williams, and the Texans are very close here to the end zone. 3rd and goal at the 3. Mills looking to throw it. He is sacked on the play. David Long makes the sack, and that's going to bring out the field goal team. No touchdown on this drive for the Texans. That was Tennessee. He used the timeout. They want some more time on offense before half as Pinheiro splits the uprights, and the Texans are finally on the board. The Titans offense would not do anything before half as the Titans do go into the locker room leading 17-3. The pass game hasn't really been there. We've had to rely on Derrick Henry and Malik Willis on the ground game, and they've both been really good. So as I said earlier, all of these games are being played on Saturday. Let's look at the Christmas slate. The 1 o'clock game, the Packers head down south to Miami to take on the Dolphins. We need the Packers to win. I never thought I'd be rooting for Green Bay, but here we are. The 4 o'clock game at SoFi Stadium between the Rams and the Broncos. I don't think the Titans can get ahead of Denver, so that game doesn't really matter to us. Neither does this one. The late game in Arizona. Tom Brady heads to the desert to face all against the Cardinals, rocking their black alternate helmets for the first time this season. Fun slate on Christmas, then Monday night, the Colts play the Chargers. Hopefully the Chargers wipe them out. That'd be nice. So going into the second half, I know we should focus on running the ball because we're going to do that a lot. But I do want to see Malik Willis throw the ball in the conditions that we have here. And then on defense, since the Texans are losing, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. So I want to focus on stopping the pass. Texans open up with the ball here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 17. Mills launches a prayer downfield from the sideline, and it's incomplete. Good start. The Titans force a quick stop, and they'll get it here on offense from the 28. Willis looking to throw it. Goes up the middle for Beckham, who's made most of his plays towards the middle of the field this season as he gets it to the 44. Great to see Odell Beckham continuing to play well off of the knee injury. He's been really good through his first 4 games here as a Titan. And then here's Chig Okonkwo breaking the tackle. He's out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Great play after the catch by Okonkwo. And the Titans are continuing to move it pretty well. They have it at the 34-yard line here on a 1st and 10. Willis looks to throw it. He's going to go short, and it is intercepted by the veteran linebacker, Christian Kirksey. Those are the moments where the rookie quarterback stumbles a little bit. Malik Willis' pass was way off, and, you know, sometimes that's going to happen with a rookie QB. The Texans have it back, 3rd and 6. Another sack on the play. David Long, A.J. Epineza, and Harold Landry were all in the backfield to make the play as the Titans get it back. Under 3 to go. Willis outrunning the defender. What a play! Malik Willis' mobility showing in full effect there as he gains 17 on one of the best QB runs you'll ever see. 3rd and 8 now at the 41, under 2 to go in the third. Willis under pressure, and he is throttled to the ground by Ross Blacklock, his 2nd sack of the day, and this drive comes to a halting conclusion for Tennessee as they'll have to punt it. The Texans have it back, a minute left in the quarter, 2nd and 10. Here's Mills looking to throw it, just chucks up a prayer, and it is intercepted by Kevin Byard, his 2nd of the year. Byard with a nice little maneuver after the play as he is pushed out of bounds by Cooks at the 33. Great play by Byard to find the football. Great play after the interception. Byard's ball skills haven't been on full display this season as that's his first interception since all the way back in week 3. Tennessee with it back, 3rd and 8. Willis nearly able to run for the first down. He is just short. Tackled behind a yard to gain here as that'll wrap up the third. The Titans open up quarter number 4 with a very interesting decision. Do you go for it or do you kick the field goal? Tennessee's going to keep the offense out on the field. They hand it off for Derrick Henry as he gets the first down. When in doubt, give the ball to the king. He's going to make a play. 2nd and 3 now at the 12. Titans looking to take this game out of reach. Willis again trying to outrun the defender. This time it does not work as he is sacked by Jonathan Grenard. That time, Malik Willis's over-aggressiveness backfires, and the Titans are backed up all the way at the 29. 3rd and very long. Willis looking for the sidelines, and it is incomplete. Melton, the intended target. So after all of that, Tennessee's going to have to kick the field goal. 46-yard attempt for Randy Bullock is right down the middle. He has not missed a beat today. And those are our first points of the entire second half for either team. 20-3 now, Titans lead. Mills under pressure. He is sacked by Harold Landry, his 2nd of the game, his 10th of the season, putting him in double digits. The Titans as a team now with 6 today. That's, I think, the most sacks the team has gotten in a game this season. 3rd and long, scream for Hunt. He has blocks, and he gets the first. Very well executed play there by the Texans, running the screen to perfection as they now have it at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10. Mills looking to throw it, sacked again, ball's loose. It's picked up by Houston. Dupree was in the backfield along with Harold Landry. Nice pressure there by the Titans as that is their 7th sack as a team today. 2nd and 15, under 6 to go. Mills is sacked again. The former Texan, Zach Cunningham, is in the backfield for a sack. Everybody is getting sacks in this game for the Titans, and now it is a 3rd and 21. Mills has taken an absolute beating on this drive by the Titans pass rush. This time he's able to get rid of it, but it is broken up by Elijah Molden. The Texans realize there's not much to lose, so they might as well go for it here on 4th and long. Mills looks to throw it. He has a man. It's Cooks, who has the first and more, hit hard by Amani Hooker. What a great play there by the Texans as Brandon Cooks beats off Caleb Farley at the line of scrimmage and is able to get the first down, keeping the drive going. 2nd down and 9, under 4 to go. Mills finds himself alone in the backfield looking to throw it, and he finds Kareem Hunt on the wheel route, hit hard at the 4-yard line. The Texans are having a really nice drive, all things considered. They had a few sacks early on, but now they're looking good. 2nd and goal. Hunt is clobbered in the backfield for a loss of 2. Kevin Byard has been all over the field today. This has been by far his best game of the year as he gets the tackle for loss. 3rd and 8, Mills under pressure, incomplete. Harold Landry with nearly his 3rd sack of the game, would have been his 11th on the year if Mills didn't throw it. Now a 4th and goal, under 3 to go. Obviously the Texans figure they might as well go for it here. Mills looks to throw it, and he will be picked off in the back of the end zone by guess who? Kevin Byard. What a performance he has had in this ball game, icing it officially for the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee should just be able to run the clock out here with 3 minutes to go. So they would run into a 4th and 17. They figure they might as well go for it. Willis scrambling to the left side, looking to run for the first down, and he's going to get it. What a play by Willis, still breaking tackles, wrapped up at the 19-yard line, and that will be your dagger. The Titans win in a slop fest, 20-3. I think all things considered, the team played pretty well in this game, and obviously the conditions certainly made an impact. We really had to focus on running the football, and if there's any team in the NFL who's going to succeed in doing that, it is going to be us. I was worried the field conditions were going to neutralize this game. It could be a trap game for us, but obviously that was not an issue. The defense was unbelievable. We had, I think 8 sacks today. Landry was great. Dupree was great. Lonnie and Cunningham were great. Jeffrey Simmons made plays in the backfield. All in all, just a really, really good win. Only 75 passing yards as a team. Neither quarterback threw the ball all that well, but you got to give him a pass, particularly Malik Willis, who had 134 yards on the ground. Derrick Henry had 105. Again, the receivers didn't really stand out, but that's what happens when there's no passing offense. Both pass blocking units struggled, particularly theirs. Harold Landry, 2 sacks. Grenard and Blacklock each had 2 sacks for them. 1.5 for Lawn. Dupree, Molden, Cunningham, and Epineza also got in the backfield. And shout out to Kevin Byard. He had a great day. 2 interceptions, making a lot of plays in this one. As we look around the league, the Jaguars are still a game ahead of us as they beat the Jets. The Lions lose, so they still have the worst record in the league. The Christmas Day games were won by the Dolphins, Broncos, and Cardinals. And the Colts got smothered on national television. Their first loss since week 5. Players of the week, Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow, Adrian Amos, and our very own Kevin Byard. Very well deserved. 8 tackles, 2 for a loss, a sack, and an interception. So as we look at the playoff picture, we're still not there, which, again, isn't really a surprise, but we made up a lot of ground. So we're a game back of the 7th seed. If we win out and one of those teams ahead of us falters, we could very well grab that spot. We're also only 1 game behind the Colts in the division, along with the Jaguars. That Week 18 game against Jacksonville is going to be imperative that we win if we want any chance in the division, or really the playoffs as a whole. We have a short week here going back at home. Final home game of the season against the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. The Cowboys, like us, are playing for a playoff spot. So this game is as important to them as it is for us. So it should be a challenge, but I think it's going to be a fun one. I'm also probably going to have the prospect profile on defensive backs in the next episode as well. So that's going to wrap it up. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out. Tighten up.